What is going on, guys? Anatoly from Define Agile here. I got a question here from one of our YouTube users who is asking, what is Scrumban and what are the frameworks to allow you to deal better with constantly changing requirements? So, first of all, I appreciate all your questions and comments. They really help me to steer how I create this content, and I also like that you are participating. So first of all, thank you very much for this. Let's talk about this issue. So we talked about Scrum and Kanban. We compared the two. We know that in Scrum you need to lock things in iterations. So if you have a stakeholder who are coming to you and saying, Anatoly, you need to do this and that every day, and you're saying, I'm sorry, I have this sprint that I need to finish, well, it does not work out sometimes. I still think that the best way would be to talk to your stakeholders and negotiate some process and say, okay, you need to wait for 2 weeks, but it's not possible sometimes. You have, let's say, a support team who is supporting the whole organization. There's no way that they can wait for 2 weeks if your site is down or your customers need something really urgently. So then there's a Kanban. The Kanban does not have particular roles prescribed. The Kanban is a board and it's a very versatile. So the Kanban allows you to deal with change easily. You put your tickets on your board, you have some work in progress limits to make sure that you're not queuing up your columns, and you're moving stuff. You're moving stuff from to do to done. That's it. However, Kanban by itself, it also does not have much structure. So if you want to create some processes and grow as a team, well, you need to be mature to make sure that you establish those processes. And it might be also a problem for new teams. Some teams really need this ability to be fast, but also and like adapt to change requirements. But also the same teams need, they might be not as mature that they could create all the process themselves. So then they might need a little bit of help. And this is where frameworks like Scrumban comes in. So Scrumban is Kanban and Scrum together, and it has the agility of Kanban, and it has some process from Scrum. And what does that mean? Well, you also just before that, even before that, I want to mention that you can still have all of this in Kanban, because Kanban does not prescribe you anything. If you want to have meetings in Kanban, well, they're not prescribed, but you might have them. If you need roles, different roles like Scrum Master, Development Team, Product Owner, and Kanban, you can have that, but Kanban does not prescribe that. So Scrumban is a Kanban, but we put a little bit of flavor of Scrum into Kanban. What we don't have sprints, because, well, we need to be really, really fast. What we do have, we have some structure. So we have roles, Scrum Master, which is in Scrumban, again, making sure that you are doing Scrumban correctly. It's not really Scrum Master because you're not doing Scrum, but it's a person, maybe an Agile coach or however you want to call this person, who making sure that the processes are there. And the other person will be Product Owner, making sure that the backlog is there, that issues are coming to the team, that the issues have all the information that's needed. And then there's a development team, as always, who are executing everything. The other things, there are meetings. There are daily Scrum, where teams come together and talk about what went well, what didn't go well, and see if there are any blockers, which is very useful. This is a way for the team to find out, okay, how are we doing, if anyone is blocked, if we can help. So still working as a team, not in the silos, and talking to each other daily. The other thing is there are meetings like sprint review, sprint retrospective, but there are no sprints. So how are those meetings happening? Well, they are called review and retrospective, and they also happen on demand. While working in Scrumban teams, I still like to schedule those maybe once in 2 weeks or once a month. So even though we are not having any sprints, there's no end to this, because Kanban is a continuous process. I still like to have those meetings scheduled so people know they're happening. So there might be a review of your work and a retrospective. Review of your work will be those 2 weeks that you work on something, even though it's not a sprint, there is still did something, so we can review it. And then we can talk about it. We talk about what worked well, what didn't work well. We also set up stuff like definition of done and team agreement that is more sort of agile. It does not have to do with Scrum or Kanban, but I find it very useful for team to understand what does it mean to deliver a piece of software from start to finish, or piece of any product. We work not just with software companies, we're working with hospitals, with restaurants, with anyone, with governments. So what does it mean to deliver this part of your project to your stakeholders? And the definition of done is this, and the team agreement is how do we want to work with each other? So it's also very important. This is where you can go and set up all your process. When do you come to work? How do you talk to each other? When is the hours where there's no disturbance and stuff like that? All this teams agrees in the team agreement. Scrumban, the board of Scrumban. So of course the Kanban board, because Scrum board has a backlog and active sprint. Actually, to be honest, the active sprint board is a Kanban board as well, but there's no limits. So if you go to Jira, you set up your Kanban board, Kanban project, not the Scrum project. That what actually I meant. So what else? We still have work in progress limits, which makes total sense. From Kanban, we make sure that we are not taking lots of things that we're not able to deliver. We're making sure that we're moving continuously and that we are delivering from to do to done. The movement is very organic. That is what I wanted to tell you about Scrumban. Hopefully it makes sense. It allows you to be fast, agile. It allows you to react to your constant changing environment, but it also allows you to look back to retrospective reviews, to build some process, to talk, to grow as a team. So try it, see if it works for you. If it doesn't work, if you don't want to go full on with daily stand-ups, but you still want to be doing Kanban style, I recommend you start doing Kanban, but start building those things. Like if you're a mature team, think of, okay, what's not working for us? Try working in pure Kanban and don't talk to each other, for example, for a week. Don't have any meetings. If it works for you, continue. If it doesn't, see, okay, maybe we need a stand-up. Do we need to stand up once a week? Do we need to stand up once a day? You decide. So this is another option. If you don't want to go full Scrumban and start doing all this, you might just go with a Kanban and build on top of it what is necessary. So it's for you to decide. I cannot decide for you. If you want my help to come to your team and really look at it and discuss it with you, please go to defineagile.com, schedule a consultation. We can sit down, talk about how I can help your business and negotiate how we can work together. It was Anatoly from Define Agile. Thank you very much for asking your questions. Thank you for being active, leaving comments. I really appreciate you. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and like. It really helps me because it brings my videos to more people and I really enjoy sharing it with you. I'll see you next one. Bye bye.